it's Nell, and today I have 10 fun and easy ways to hang air plants, so stick around for that. So if you like videos about gardening, both indoors and outdoors, be sure to subscribe because I post on a regular basis. So I have not as many air plants as I used to have in Santa Barbara now that I live in Tucson, because I've learned which ones do well in the dry air. And I've just had them on this platter, most of the small ones here, and I have a couple hanging down here too, and I just want to hang some of them. So I wanted to share with you these 10 ways to hang air plants that are really easy. A couple involve a little bit of DIY, but not that much. And the first way is really simple. It works for larger air plants. It would also work for my Xerographica here. And that is just a simple wire plant hanger. This is what is used to hang the hanging plastic pots. I'm sure you've seen them many times. And then this one I spray painted white to go with the decor in my dining room. And this is easy. And you can buy these at your local garden center. I think Home Depot and those kind of places sell them. I will also leave a link in the post as to where you can get them on Amazon. And the next is the bendable aluminum craft wire. Comes in many different colors. It's fun. It easily bends. It's really easy to work with. It's reusable. And all you would have to do is wrap it around the stem of the air plant a little bit up the middle, and then you can just do a hook. This one I did as a short one because it's easier this way, and you can just hang it that way. And the next is what is called an air plant cradle. This particularly beauty is made by Mud Puppy. They have a website. I think they sell on Etsy, actually. Etsy carries quite a few of these. I've seen a white one on Amazon too. But these are easy. They have a hole in the bottom. I could just rest my Xerographica right in here, and it could hang that way. Beautiful. Or if I wanted to do a smaller air plant, it is the same thing. So these are not only attractive, but it's a really easy way to hang them. And this is obviously a macrame wall hanger. You may have seen it with little 4-inch succulents in it and other plants, but it works for air plants too. I have 3 different ones in here, and you would just obviously hang this on the wall. And I'll leave some links. I'm going to leave links to where you can find similar things. I got this at a nursery in San Diego, but I can find similar ones for you. And I will put the links in the blog post. And as always, the link to the blog post is down below in the description box. And the next is with a moss ball kokedama style. You may have seen that where they wrap plants in the moss and hang it that way, but this is actually an artificial moss ball. I think it's styrofoam underneath. I'm not quite sure. I bought it at Michael's. And then you can just glue an air plant on the top. You can either use hot glue, and when I use hot glue with air plants, I always let it almost all the way cool down because I don't want to shock them. Or you can use E6000, just a drop of that, to attach it onto here. And that's a really simple way. It doesn't come, with the fishing line, but I just wrapped it around the ball 4 times and it makes a hanger. And the next is another easy one. This is called the Vanda Orchid Basket. And I had this hanging outside in my garden in Santa Barbara for years. So as Brielle says, it is very much on the weathered look. That's some preserved reindeer moss inside, still in there. So these are really easy. Again, just put your air plant in there. Put a little more moss around if you want to. And I get a lot of odds and ends of things for plants at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. And you can put in some adornments or some shells. I used to have shells when I lived by the sea, but now that I live in Tucson, this is appropriate. And this is great for either big or small air plants. And these come in different sizes, by the way. I got this at the Santa Barbara Orchid Show, but there's many sources online. And before I move on to the next project, I just want to tell you, if you have dried roots on your air plant, you can either leave them on if you like in the look, or you can cut them off because they aren't serving any purpose now. The roots on an air plant are mainly to anchor it to whatever it's growing on. So if they're bothering you, you can take them off. Just don't cut them up too far on the stem. You don't want to cut off too much of that, but you can cut off those dried roots. And we're moving on to displaying it on wood. There is lots of cholla wood here in the desert, and it's great for crafting. You can also buy it online. I will leave a link to it, or you can take any kind of wood or whatever you can find and hang it this way. And I just think this is really interesting because the wood itself is interesting. And I just put a piece of fishing line on it. That's what's holding it. But with all these, if you need to attach a hanger, you can do ribbon, cord, twine, whatever you want to. And this is, another option with a piece of wood too. And you can do it this way and just put your plants on it. They're not going to stay because it's twirling around, but you get the idea. I would actually use a little bit of glue to attach these on, and that's just, a different look using wood. And the next option is a little more glam. It's these geometric holders. These obviously happen to be gold. I think these only came in gold. I got them in Amazon, but you could easily spray paint them if you wanted a different color. And what I plan on doing with these is I'm going to hang them as a double. So, there's two of them, but oops, I just put a little bit of moss in there. You don't have to put moss in if you don't want to, and then you can just nestle the air plant in. And another simple one is a grapevine wreath. I'm doing it on the table because I'm not going to actually glue them on. I'm going to use most of these air plants in the next and last project you'll see. But you can just glue them on, or if you don't want to glue them on, you can wire them on. You could fill up the grapevine wreath, or you could have it a little bit more spatial like I have it, and then just hang it on the wall. And the last one is one I'm sure you've seen quite a few times. It's an air plant frame. And this is what I'm going to use to display most of these smaller air plants of mine, so I don't have to have them on the silver tray anymore. So I'm just going to set them in here again and do it flat, and then over the weekend I'm going to tie them all in here because I'm going to attach them with either fishing line or wire just to make sure that they stay, because most of them don't have long enough stems to actually stay in. And with a frame, you can actually do it just a few air plants. You can do it very spatially. I'm going to fill it up a bit more, or you can fill it just jam-packed. You can do moss, you can not do moss. There's many ways that you can do this. And this particular one I got on Amazon. They're sold, I believe, on Etsy and eBay too. And this is the idea here. I have all but two of my smaller air plants in here. Actually, I might put another one up there just to fill it up. But I don't really have these attached in, but it makes a living picture. And there will be pictures in the blog post in case you want to see those. And as I said, links down below and in the post. And I hope you have found this to be helpful and it'll inspire you to hang some air plants. So I thank you so much for watching. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so stay tuned for those. And now let's get out in the garden or into our indoor gardens and make our worlds a more beautiful place. Thanks for watching. Bye.